What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wonbyone Podcast, where we talk about the mindset, habits, and systems that drive success, both on and off the court. I'm Obi Emegano, 9-year professional athlete, the host of this podcast, Tokyo 2020 Olympian. I'm here joined today with the former Olympian, 9-year professional athlete, my brother, Ike Nwamu. Ike, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my brother. Appreciate you having me, man. Hey,
Yes,
happy
sir.
birthday too, man.
Hey, thank
Happy
you, man.
birthday.
Thank you.
know?
Getting old, man.
Man, we getting up there. I know whenever it's your turn, it's my turn right after.
When's your birthday?
In June.
Okay, you coming up, man. All right, man. Tell the people, who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? That's hometown. Where you at right now? Just give us a little bio, a little quick bio.
My name is Ike Nwamu. I'm a professional basketball player. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm playing in Chartres, France right now for a Pro B club, and yeah, that's me.
Olympian?
Olympian. I mean, we were there together.
Yes, sir. Man, what a time.
Man,
What
time
a time.
flies.
Yeah, we got stories from them days.
Yeah, for real.
How you liking France, man?
France is cool. I'm comfortable here. This is my sort of third season playing here, so my French is pretty good.
Yeah, I know you
It's getting
speak
there.
languages. He said it with confidence too.
I'm getting there, man.
Yeah, man. So Pro B in France, you started there this year?
Yeah, I came after the first 7 games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk us through your little journey, man. I know big time college player. I know you did the whole G. You've been overseas. You've been everywhere. So just walk us through that, man. What's your journey been like? Your basketball journey, your professional, then leading up to your professional journey.
Yeah, nah, it's been quite the journey, like you said. I started out at Cleveland State my freshman year. I didn't really get much time, and then I transferred to Mercer University in Georgia. I sat out for a year. That was tough, but it was good for me. And then I played 2 years at Mercer, and then I transferred to UNLV for my 5th year. And then after that, I went pro. I started out in the G League. I was in the G for 4 years, and then I started my European career after that. That started out in France for Cholet. I was with Cholet for training camp. Then I ended up getting cut from there. Then I had some time to myself, and then I ended up going to Russia. Then after Russia, I went to Israel. And after Israel, I went back to Russia again. And then I signed to Nancy the next year.
Dang, I forget your whole journey.
Yeah, bro, it's been quite the journey. And then after Nancy, I re-signed back to Nancy. Then I left in the middle of the year and went to a club in Poland. And now I'm here in Chartres.
What was that been like, man? Because oftentimes we talk about the journey of the G. Guys trying to be in the G. I was talking to one of my cats yesterday about he's trying to go to the G. He's like, why didn't you go to the G? Why did you choose to go overseas?
Yeah.
Walk me through what your thought process was behind that, behind the G, going to the league, trying to go overseas. How did you choose what you wanted to do?
Honestly, the start of my professional journey, I didn't really have that much help. I didn't really know how the whole process was, like trying to get an agent, trying to do all those type of things. Because the way my college career ended, I had like all my coaching staff, they were kind of into it. So everybody just kind of left after the season. So I didn't really have anybody to help me get an agent or anything. So I didn't end up signing with an agent until maybe like 2 or 3 days before the draft. And in my head, growing up in America, like the goal is always NBA,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I didn't really know that many people that were professionals in Europe at the time. So I really didn't have that much guidance. So I ended up, just trying to find any way to get to the league. And I looked at the G League. I was like, okay, that's my way in. And at that time, it almost seemed like playing in Europe was seen as like a failure. Like, oh, you got to go overseas.
For
Like,
sure.
you got to go overseas. So I was like, at that time, I was like, no, I'm not going overseas. Like, I'm an NBA player.
Sure.
I'm going to the G. And I did okay my first year. The big thing about the G is like what type of opportunities you have, like the playing time, your shots, your role. It all plays a difference. And my first year, I didn't really have that type of role. And for the first couple of years of my career, I was dead set on getting to the NBA.
Hmm.
So I ended up coming back the next year, and I played really well that year. I thought, I did enough to earn a call up. I had broken some records, and I thought I fit the mold of what they were looking for, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. So, but I tell guys, man, the G is a little bit different now. When I was first there, like there was zero money. Like my first year, I made
Yeah.
19.6,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
but it just depends on what's important to you. If that goal of getting to the to the league is that important to you, I feel like it's worth a try. But then it gets to a point where you have to think about your career in general. And not to say playing in the G your whole career isn't bad. Like I have a bunch of friends that have done it and they've had some success. But when you look at it from a fiscal standpoint, it makes more sense to go to Europe. You're going to earn more money. And, also you're going to get to experience different cultures. And, that's really my favorite part about playing in Europe, honestly.
Yeah. What was the difference? What would you say the difference between the G or even the league or the guys? Because I'm dealing with a lot of guys who are having that consideration right now. They're like, should I go to the G? Should I go
Yeah.
overseas? My thing is, I tell a lot of guys, for one, it depends on what you're looking for, right? What are you optimizing for?
Yeah.
But for me personally, it was go overseas and make money. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I lean towards that more often because I feel like a lot of guys, it's hard to get out of the G. It's a gauntlet down there.
Oh man.
The
Yeah,
chances of you
it's
getting out of there, especially guys that don't have a resume. You don't have a
yeah.
resume. You didn't do anything in college. You're a good player. Now, there's plenty of those players, like good guys without any resume, whether it's the situation they were in, whatever the case may be, right? But they can play, but they don't have
Yeah.
a resume. And I'm like, it's just gonna be very hard for you. Like this is a game that's being played where social like people are getting drafted off of NIL. It's publicity. A lot of it
Absolutely.
is. Don't get me wrong. A lot of it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to be able to play, but if you don't at least have a little bit of publicity and you don't have any numbers, yeah, you
It's
can
tough.
play, but go overseas, man. Go get a check, build your way up. So we look at that and we saw you go overseas. What did you see the difference in style of play is?
Um,
Why, because a lot of guys they struggle when they go from NBA to Europe. Why is that? You've been all in the G. You've done that whole thing. Why is it? What's the difference?
the difference really is how possessions are viewed and how they're valued. So in
Mm,
the NBA or NBA and G League, you'll see scores of like you'll regularly see 120, 130, 140.
yeah,
So there's plenty of possessions. So in that style of play, it's more just about finding the most open shot as fast as possible. So it might be coming off the initial ball screen in a transition, and the guy goes under. Boom, you're expected to shoot that. And over here in Europe, possessions are valued. The game is a lot slower, and you're not really going to take those quick transition type shots unless it's like a wide open or a high percentage layup.
sure,
And that's really the difference, just how possessions are valued. So
yeah,
it's slower paced. The clock is worked more, and like the NBA and the G League, the players are more the stars.
Star
And
heavy, yeah.
yeah, in Europe, like yeah, you have some star players, but
I
the
don't really
real
care.
the real constant is the coaches.
Yeah.
So, if you're able to as a coach, if you're able to out coach the other coach, then it's looked as, you're a good coach, and yeah, you're looked at favorably. And then if you're giving up 120 points, like it looks crazy. So it looks insane.
Yeah, no, you don't see
Yeah.
that. How did you handle how'd you handle the uncertainty of the G and not knowing, if you're gonna get called up, coming down, moving to Europe, the uncertainty of the teams, the leagues, going overseas, you don't know what you're gonna get, having to stay ready and be ready. Because Europe is like a 1 year gone, 1 year gone, you know what I'm saying? It's not like
For
these
sure.
long-term contracts. And a lot of that, there's a lot of uncertainty comes with that. I was looking at going back and you'll get a call and they're like, hey, can you come tomorrow? I'm like, wait a minute. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's a whole lot. Your life is just kind of up in the air, for guys who are living that overseas life. How has that how have you had to adjust to lifestyle and things just being uncertain and having to go roll with the punches?
Um, that was kind of difficult for me at
Mm,
first, because there's no real stability when you're in that lifestyle. So it's just about just trying to remain as open-minded as possible and as flexible as possible. And what I learned very quickly is, whenever you get somewhere, the quicker you adapt, the more success you're going to have. So it's just about making myself and my life as adaptable as possible.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. One of my GMs at Le Mans, he asked me when my year there, he picked me up in the car and he asked me, Obi, he's like, we get a lot of good Americans coming here, a lot of Nigerians as well. And he was just like, why do you think it's so hard for Americans to come over here and stick? Good players, good athletes, they can play basketball, but they can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. And that's why I told him, I was like, I think people struggle with adapting,
Yeah.
adjusting,
Hmm.
especially coming from the States. And I'll be the first one about my experience. The same thing happened. I went overseas, and you guys have heard about that. I got released my rookie season, and I went over there. One of the leading scorers in the country, thinking I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing, and I struggled to adapt. And at the time, I was young, and I was just like, I thought it was everybody else's fault, right? But now
Yeah.
looking back, I'm like, I just wasn't, I didn't figure it out in time, and they didn't have any patience, and it was hard for me. And I tell the high schoolers that, and I tell the college guys that, like, the amount of love you're getting right now from your parents, from your friends, from your coaches, it's not real. That's like you're being, what I'm saying, you're being coddled. When you
Yeah.
get out into the real world, even college, it's
Hmm.
hard, it's tough, but you got people who care about your well-being, who are looking out for you. You go overseas, you get to be a professional. You don't show up, nobody's calling you and asking where are you at, where are you. You might show up and your replacement will be in the gym.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just being able to adapt, and you hit it, you said it perfectly. Guys being able to adapt is the toughest part. And having that attitude and that demeanor, like, I don't need to adapt, or y'all should adapt to me, when in reality you're moving into a different system, a different situation, man.
Yeah.
So it ends up being crazy, but you got to have the discipline, dude. So what has that discipline carried you to? What do your days look like as far as being a professional athlete now? What does your days look like for guys who want to get to that level? What does that look like for you?
Man. Um, being a high level professional, it's not just only like what you do on the court or in the weight room. It's a culmination of a lot of things. So first it's you know, getting to sleep at a decent time, because recovery is key. You get your sleep, then you gotta wake up in the morning. For me, I have my morning routine. I drink my tea, I take my herbs. I like to get outside, do a little walk, read, do some self development, yoga, and then I'll go to the court. Well, I'll go to the weight room, do my mobility. I have my program that I do every day, so I'll do that pre practice. Then I'll get my shots up, try to get my work in. Then, you have practice. And then after practice, do a or after practice lift, get some shots up as well. Then go home, cook, try to eat as healthy as possible because it's very important for your recovery and staying healthy. And then the more healthy you are, the better you're going to be able to be for your team and the more available you're going to be and the better you'll play.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much my routine. As far as like from a day-to-day basis, yeah, things are going to change here and there, but that's pretty much it. And then always, I say to guys, especially in Europe when you have so much downtime, like try to develop yourself in some type of way, be it picking up a skill, picking up a habit, starting a business, starting a brand, just do something to occupy your time because there could be a lot of like wasted time and you don't really want to do that,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't really get time back.
What are you doing?
I do a lot of creative writing. I'm actually working on starting a book.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I kind of want to do something kind of similar to what you've been doing
Yeah.
with mindset and things of that nature because I have
Yeah.
a lot of experience, man, and I just want to give back,
Yeah.
and that's something I wish I would have had access to when I was a young pro or when I was in college because I think that really would have helped me. So,
What was that shift for you? Because I think about it myself, like when I started, being somebody who's trying to teach and push the message forward of,
mhm,
the mind, the discipline and the mindset and all that stuff. It's hard because it's a lot of things bundled up into one. And we say
right,
mindset, but it's just that's the easy way of doing it. And to be able to teach it is very difficult because you have to really hone in on all the little details that then build and then make up that mindset. So when was that change for you? Like as an athlete, because now dealing with some younger athletes myself, I'm thinking to myself, when did I start trying to figure this thing out? When did it start being a priority or me realizing that I needed to take care of it? Right. You talk about
yeah,
creative outlets, creative writing, things like that. Like when is the right time to tap into that? Because right now, a lot of high schoolers obviously not tapped into it, and I don't blame them. I
mhm,
wasn't either. But that's the goal is to try to get them with those tools younger than when we had them,
for sure.
right?
Yeah. Um, I would say the shift for me was my third professional season. I had just come off a big year in the G. I ended up playing summer league with Miami, playing well in summer league, and then I ended up signing a training camp deal with the Bucks. So in my mind, I was just going to be in the G for 1 or 2 months, and then I would get called up to Milwaukee or somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And things didn't really materialize that way. I ended up having an injury that I was out for maybe 15, 20 games. So that was really significant. So at that time, a lot of my identity was rooted in me as a basketball player and me and, in my performance. And when I was injured, I didn't have that. I couldn't really lean on that. So, it was very difficult. And we had a mental coach on staff, and he gave me a journal and gave me a book, and I really took it to heart, and it helped me. I started focusing on the things that I could control, which was okay, how I allocate my time and how I choose to perceive all these things that are happening to me because they're happening whether I want them to or not. It's just about how I choose to respond to it. And with that mindset, it helped me get through that time. And then, you know, I'm naturally, I'm very inquisitive. I like to learn. I like to dive into different things. And once I saw how that shift in thinking was really good for me, it made me go deeper into that and kind of separate Ike the basketball player from Ike the person. And it's given me a lot of peace and clarity, and it's also helped me on the court as well.
That's beautiful, man. that's, you know, that's, we talk about like unfortunate things happening to then bring us to the, and that's kind of the situation that you're talking about. It's a situation that happened with me, is just getting injured or dealing with something that's tough and you don't know where else to turn. You're like, back is against the wall and you're looking for an outlet. Boom, then you
Mm-hmm.
find the outlet and now you're like, dang, okay, I see it on the other side. But
Right.
for guys who never had their back against the wall, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, when you eat bad, you don't know what it's like to eat good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're just it's your status quo. And so
Yeah.
when I talk to the guys about the mindset stuff, they're, kids are just playing and having a good time. But then a kid gets injured and now it's like panic,
Mm-hmm.
panic. And, um, instead of panicking, there's things that we can do. And like you said, talking to somebody about how you allocate your time, how you perceive, the things that are going on in your life, because perception is reality, right? If you perceive it's
Absolutely.
happening, then that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And so, just getting guys to be able to make that mindset shift, to then see those things as, ways to get better. Being injured, I've been injured the last 2 years, right? It's been hard. What are you relying on at that point? And that's where you see guys that get injured and then they just, and I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything bad about it, because there's been times where I'm like, damn man, where am I going? You know what I mean? Like, where am I going? And if you don't have that a group to rely on, a system to rely on, whereas you talk about what you just talked about, it gets really difficult, man. So, it kind of carries us into our kind of closing is, who is Ike outside of basketball, right? And we kind of touched on that a little bit, but I just kind of, I want to make one more stand to talk about that. What you're going to be outside of basketball, what you're going to pursue outside of basketball, and what the next step for you looks like. We talked about you getting a little bit older, obviously feeling good, but you gotta
Yeah.
start thinking, man. If a couple more years, what does that look like for me after that? Yeah. So what you talked about mindset. Is that the route you're taking? Is that what you're
Um,
thinking about?
I'm definitely thinking about that. I have so
A
many
few things,
ideas.
yeah,
I have
yeah,
so many ideas. I would say the common theme with everything is just trying to impact as many people as possible. Be it teaching the game, teaching about mindset, teaching about, or just giving everything that was given to me and more. Trying to tell
yeah.
people about all my experiences because if I can reach out to a couple of young guys and be like, hey, like, this is what I went through. I don't want you to go through the same thing. Or if you go through this, this is my experience. That I want to be able to impact as many people as possible in multiple ways, and not only with just sports and basketball, but just in life in general. And I want to also impact Nigeria, our home. Um, I want to be able to help people reach their dreams, whatever their dreams are,
Hmm.
sports, entertainment, science, medical. Because I think the most important thing that we can do as human beings are inspire others. Because with that inspiration, you never know. You could be inspiring the next president of the United States or
Sure.
the the next pope. Like you never know, like what kind of impact your words have on people. And I've seen it firsthand with how it was for me. So I just want to be able to impact people as much as possible. And whatever avenue that is, be it sports, creating mentorship programs, like any type of way I can, that's really, what I want to do.
If I want to ask you one question, man. If you could talk, if you could bring up one person who has had who has been instrumental in your success, right, in your mindset and in your development as a sports athlete specifically, who would it
Mhm.
be? We're talking about big homies, right? Who would it be?
Yeah. Now, it would be my mentor, Phil Talkman. This was pretty much my first trainer. And we met, I started training with him when I was like 10. And, he just pretty much became like my uncle. And, he was instrumental on obviously helping me develop as a basketball player, but more importantly, just as a person and a human being. And, without that foundation, I definitely wouldn't be where I am or had the success that I had.
Sure. Now,
Yeah.
is he? Where's he at? Who is he? Back at the crib? Where's he at?
He's
State,
in North Carolina.
North
Yeah.
Carolina. Yeah.
He's not really in basketball right now. He's doing commercial real estate, but he's
All right.
had a huge impact on me and a bunch of other people as well.
Man, if you could leave any words with our followers, with a young athlete out there, guys who are looking, who aspire to be where you are, who aspire to be where we have been, we are, what would you say to them, man?
Man, I would say everything everything starts as a thought. Everything you see, everything you experience, it all starts as a thought. So if you can think it, then you can do it. No matter how crazy it may be, no matter if you want to be the next LeBron James, anything is possible, whether you believe it or not. But the main thing is you got to really believe, and then you got to, just focus on controlling what you can control and keeping that thought, that belief in mind, and then things will work out how they're supposed to. And to add to that also, like, no matter no matter how bad things may seem, it's always going to balance out. Like, everything that you've been through thus far in your life, you've gotten through it. So why would that change now?
You're here,
So,
aren't you?
so yeah,
You made it.
absolutely.
You made it this far, haven't you?
Absolutely.
No, that's a fact, and I want to tag. I want to tag on to that, man. I always say, like, control your thoughts. Be
Hmm.
in control of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts control you.
For
Like you
sure.
said, if you can think it, you can do it. Like, so anything that you're thinking about doing, you can go do it, but don't be letting your mind wander and then let those intrusive thoughts get into your head, because that's where a lot of dreams are killed, is right there in the mind. Right?
Yeah.
How many great athletes do we know that can't get outside of their mind, and they were stopping themselves? And so that's really the backbone of why I wanted to come on here and have these conversations and help guys build that confidence, man. Because once you're in control of your thoughts, you're now leading yourself. And we see a lot of guys struggling with the confidence, struggling with fear, failing, all those things. And it's all just things that have been created in their minds, worrying about the future, thinking about the past. And so take care of your mind, and make sure you're thinking the right thoughts, man.
Absolutely.
Last thing before we get out of here, I'd like to ask all my guests one question. I'm going to leave you with this: how do you practice self-love?
Mm. I practice self-love by taking care of myself to the best of my ability with my diet, staying away from certain vices, um, you know, sleeping on time, taking care of myself, because when I feel good, it's easier to have good thoughts. So,
Yeah. All
yeah.
right. All right, Ike, I appreciate you for coming on here, man. Let everybody know where we can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at Ike underscore Wamu. Same with Twitter, or it's X now. Same on X. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
How long y'all got left in the season, man?
Man, we have 3 more games, man. We have 3 more games, yeah.
That's
And
it.
we're in a relegation battle right now, so
Oh.
yeah, this was a
Oh.
rescue mission, but we're
Oh.
one game at a time.
I've been there. I've been there. I know all about it. The
Man,
relegation mission.
relegation mission, man.
Jeez. All right, man. Well, good luck to you. Praying for you to have a good, healthy end of the season, man, and come home
Appreciate you,
and
brother.
link up.
Yeah, we definitely got a link, man. It's been too long, man.
Got to, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right,
All
brother.
right.
Good luck
All
to
right,
you.
brother. Yes, sir.
All right. Peace.